Hey guys, welcome back to Dueling Destination. So today I have a new deck profile. This is a deck I've been using online, but I like to build the decks before using them online. I'm a bit of an old school player, so I like the feel of the cards and just having them on hand. I had the help of Juan and Evander. They both helped me build this deck. This deck was just put together with cards I had at home. I did not need to source out or buy any other cards. I got these cards from locals, just trading when locals was still happening. And it's a very competitive deck, and I really like the idea we put behind this. So remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And let's go into this deck profile. So today I'll be profiling Salamangreats. I feel like this is one of the best budget decks going on right now. We're gonna start off with one Gazelle because Gazelle is at one of the best cards in this whole deck. But this deck is kind of like hand trap deck featuring Salamangreat because the engine is so small. Then we go into two Spinny. Spinny being one of the guys that really gets your combo plays going, and that's what I like a lot about Spinny. And I think just having two is just perfect for me in the way I play this deck. Now we go into a playset of Foxy because two Foxy, not a playset. I thought I was playing a playset, but just two Foxies for now. Yeah, Foxy is pretty good, but again, we try to minimize the amount of Salamangreat cards we're using in this deck just to be more aggressive on the playstyle that we do. And we get to draw a lot of cards with this deck, so I really like it. So two Foxies has been pretty good. I'm using two Jaguar because Jaguar is one of the cards in the deck that just helped me recur a lot of monsters in my field and just recycle my extra deck, which I like a lot because you can probably just lose in the bureau sometimes or just stop right before but still have all your link summons done, and it really takes a lot from your extra deck basically. So I decided to go with just one foul, and this is the lineup for the only Salamangreat monsters I use. It's very small, just a few of them. The rest are just hand traps and cards I thought would be pretty good. I'm using only 2 copies of Lady Debug. Lady Debug is actually back at full power, but I just decided to use 2. 2 seems to be fair enough, and after a lot of discussion with my colleagues, we finalized that 2 was perfect. And then now we have a playset of the Flame Buffalo. This guy is pretty good, and a lot of times people want to ash him, but you just build a chain and you can actually draw your cards, or sometimes just use this as bait and ensure that you get to search out your field spell card when you need to. So this one's pretty good here. I'm also using a set of Ash Blossoms because again, this is a hand trap deck. I call it Salamangreat. It's just a small engine that's within the deck, so that allows me to use a lot of hand traps to basically combat any rogue deck or meta deck. So Ash Blossoms can be recycled as well, but I still feel like this is one of the best hand traps. I'm also using only 2 copies of the Crow. This is great against the Eldritch deck. I think that's what you call it, the new zombie deck. That's a really cool and powerful deck, but it's super expensive. I cannot afford cards like that. But DD Crow does a good job at that point for me. I'm also using 2 copies of Effect Veiler because Effect Veiler is one of the best cards basically in the game right now. If you can stop the summon or effects of some monsters, sometimes you just stop the whole combo by just extending the Effect Veiler, and basically this doesn't interrupt in any chain. You just can go and play it anywhere, so that's pretty good. And another card I really like for this format, it is Nibiru. A lot of people have been cutting this guy, but I think it's pretty good, especially if you hit it at the right time. Sometimes people do not expect you to be having this at the start of the duel, so this is pretty good just to have it in your main deck right away. People always think you're gonna side this guy in, which you don't. So for the spell cards very simple as well. We have a playset of Will because Will is like your free monster reborn basically each turn, and it helps you extend your plays. That's why we use a minimal amount of Salamangreat monsters. I gotta use 1 copy of Circle because Circle is 2/1, and yeah, we want Circle back at full power, but we can't. I'm also using 1 of the field spell card, Salamangreat Sanctuary. It's pretty good, and basically you just need 1 because you search it out anyway. And I decided to go with 2 copies of Call by the Grave because I do want my combos to go off and I need that, but I do not need it to be a full playset because I do not want to draw into 2 copies of Call by the Graves at any point. I need my combo cards. I decided to use 2 Pot of Desires. It is a risky play, but if you can use your Pot of Desires after you fully comboed, it's golden because you get the cards you need right to your hand or to the field or even your graveyard before banishing them. But this guy really helps a lot the deck to speed it up. And I decided to use 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone because, yeah, Mystic Mine is a thing and Salamangreats do lose a Mystic Mine, so we need this guy pretty good. For the trap lineup is very small. I'm using triple copies of Impermanence because Impermanence is one of the best trap cards in the game and I have them, so I'm gonna use them. I'm also deciding to use 2 Rage because you can recycle these guys and they're very powerful, and 2 Roar. Again, very powerful Salamangreat trap cards and I like them. Conditions are very easy to be met. Now let's go into the extra deck. The extra deck is kind of straightforward. There's not much going on with the extra deck that you wouldn't see in regular Salamangreat extra decks. So let's go into triple copies of Bailings. You need this guy and you need to do the whole playset, so this is one of the best cards in the extra deck for you. Of course you need a full playset of Sunlight Wolf because Sunlight Wolf is your main boss monster basically because he recycles your cards, and to me it's a boss monster even though it's very weak. But without Sunlight Wolf your deck really doesn't perform as good. Only 2 copies of Heat Leo because I feel that with just recycling Heat Leo over and over, it helps me out. I don't think I ever need more than that. The extra deck spots are very tight and we couldn't figure out sometimes what we really wanted on there, but we kind of just narrowed it down. I'm using 1 of the Fire Charmer, of course we need that. I am using 1 Nightmare Phoenix because back row again. 1 Unicorn. Sometimes I just need to do some removals and Unicorn is a pretty good card. I decided to go with the Update Jammer, Transport Talker and Borolo Dragon. It was a hard decision. I was thinking about just using Borolo Dragon, but so far this seems to be a bit more powerful, especially in this deck. And finally, I get to use 1 Abyss Dweller because the graveyard is very important to a lot of players right now, and if you can do an Abyss Dweller first turn with a Sunlight Wolf or something with a Rage and a Roar, you have a pretty strong board at that point. Okay guys, so that was the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll try to update you with as much deck profiles as I can. It's just been a bit weird with all of this stuff going on, and looks like locals is gonna be selling product pretty soon and hopefully I can buy some. Okay guys, well, I'll see you next time.